Hello and welcome back to 4 Days of Say It Ain't So 2020. Today we're going to do the 2 noodly bits and the solo, but I'm feeling just a little bit lazy, so for the first noodly bit I'm going to turn it over to my buddy and bandmate Travis Reaves all the way across the country in Los Angeles, California. Wait, sorry, before we begin, I gotta remind you that if you weren't aware already, your guitar is tuned 1/2 step down, and if you don't know how to do that, there's a link in the description for my video on how to do that. Okay, over to you, Travis.
As Ryan probably just mentioned, my name is Travis. Ryan's an old friend of mine. I'm the lead guitar player in Ryan Lendt the Leavers, even though I live 100% across the country, and I'm forever in his debt for getting me started on this whole teaching journey in the first place so many years ago. Anyways, because of all this, when Ryan asked me to jump on and help out with the solo nightmare that is Weezer's Say It Ain't So, I said, yeah, so here I am. So this whole solo revolves around a technique called the double stop. Now, I've always known this as that Hendrix thing, like stuff like that, but I never really knew why. Turns out the double stop is a carryover term from the violin, which means to play 2 notes. If you play 1 note on the violin, it's called a stop. If you play 2, it's called a double stop. Anyways, let's learn the solo. So we have E open, we have A9, and we start this with a hammer-on from A9 to A11. So it is. Then we play D9 and G9 at the same time. In context. From there, we go back to our A11 for a second, and then back to our DG9, holding down both strings with the first finger, like a mini bar kind of thing. From here, we're going to hammer on 9/11 on D, so D, 9/11 hammer on. We're going to walk that down, basically do the same thing here, so D, 9/11 to 9 on G and B. In context. Then we go back to 11 on D for a second. Now I'll play it in context. Now's the fun part. We're going to take G11, B10, we're going to slide this up in one fell swoop from 11 and 10 to 13 and 12, like this. Boy, isn't that fun. I could do that all day. Anyways, we slide this up, and then immediately bring it back down to where we started. So, up to that point, from here, what we might do instinctually is release to the 9th fret. What we want to do is keep our second finger, or whatever,
as long as it's your finger,
on that B10. And we're going to take the G and let that go. We're going to play the 9th fret of the G with our index finger. So it becomes G9, B10. So that B string kind of hangs out there on the 10th fret for this part. From here, we do the really Hendrixy thing, where we do a quick hammer-on pull-off of G9 to G11. Like that. And then we land on D11. Like this. It's like a little bit of a lot, but once you get the feel for it, you've got it forever.
Forever.
Once we get to our D11, this is just an A chord, by the way. This little shape here. We're going to finish by playing GB9 and then DG9 with the same finger. One more time. Neat. The whole thing together. Hope this helps. Back to you, Ryan. I've always wanted to throw to somebody. That's fun.
Hey, that was really good. Thank you, Travis. Okay, I learned it from him from the video you just watched, and I just want to show you how the beginning of what he was showing you is the Yellow Ledbetter thing from the verse riff of Say It Ain't So, and I think that will help you tie them both together. So here we go. Rivers is all. And here it is. Sounds like it to me. I buy it. That brings us to the second noodly part. This is the noodly part after the first chorus. This is completely bananas. Only Rivers could have written this little solo. You're going to think about an F shape on frets 7, 8, and 9. That would be a B chord if we were going to strum it, but we're not going to strum it. We're just going to arpeggiate it. So it's just notes out of the scale, out of the key that we're in, but it's not a B chord to jog your memory in the future, right? So D9, G8, B7, E7. Then E11, E7, E9, B9, E7, B7, B9, G9, B7, and then bend G9. So far we have and then G, 8, 9, 6, 6, 8, 4, 4 to 6, and then D6. So all together, this is a finger twister here. But you know, I think if you that's fine. But this is where things get weird. So I like to use ring finger, pointer, ring, middle, pointer, pointer, ring, middle, pointer, ring, and then whatever. I'm gonna give it a shot. And yay, that means it's time for the actual solo. You're gonna be up here on E14 feeling pretty bad arse, because how often do we get to be up here on E14? Give it a humongous bend, then go to 12, 11, and then bounce back and forth between B14, and your E11. And then bend your 14, B12, G13. So that's the first thing. The second thing starts the same as the first thing. You're going to do your 14 E bend, 12, 11, do your bouncing back and forth between 14 and E11. Bend your 14. But from here, I like to give it another bend, unbend, B12, and bend your 14 again. And then we have the part where the guitars talk to each other. I love it when that kind of thing happens. Go Rivers. Okay, B12, 14, E12, 16, and then hammer on pull off 14, 16, 14. And you can either play B16 or, I think on the record, slide down to E11. I would go so far as to say that's what I hear, but they're both the same note. It makes no difference. Or, and then the second guitar that starts talking is a simpler version of that. B12, 14, E12, 16, 14, 12, 11, or of course B16 instead of E11 if you like, and the third talking guitar, which is the first talking guitar, is the same as the second talking guitar, which is the other talking guitar. And then you bend E16, 14, 16, 12. So here we go with that. Yay, that's it for the noodlies and the solo for Say It Ain't So. Thank you so much for being here for day 2 of 4 days of Say It Ain't So 2020. Tomorrow is the baseline, and the day after that is the campfire version, which will be a really nice rest after all this. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful, and I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.